Gorgeous Geeks, and we're here today to talk about Once Upon a Time.
Love the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we already talked about the show, and we're talking about this episode called Desperate Souls, which featured Rumpelstiltskin and how he became
Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, his name was always Rumpelstiltskin.
Don't be so snippy. But yeah, how he became like the evil imp that he is.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. I think he could honestly get an Emmy for this. How well he acted in this.
Yeah, if they submitted this episode.
Yeah, if they wouldn't submit this episode because they go off of whatever episode they submit it to go.
Yeah, but Robert Carr.
There's no justice with the Emmy.
With the Emmys. You supposed to say enemies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they are the enemy because there's no justice because they're just cruel. So cruel. John Nobel, Fringe. That's how you know the Emmys is screwed up because he did not get nominated.
Yeah, that make it
as for Walter Bishop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but back to Once Upon a Time. Robert Carlyle, it was ridiculous.
It's still not as great as John Nobel.
Oh, come on. Stop it. He was ridiculous in this episode. Absolutely ridiculous. And you felt so bad for him.
Right.
Like, in the beginning. And, I have to say this in the very beginning when the show first started. Our sister Angelina, we were all sitting on the couch watching the show. And she started screaming when the credits came on. Like, blood-curdling scream. And we're like, what the heck is going on? And she's just like, the sheriff isn't in this episode.
She's like, I just remember they killed my man! We're like, yeah.
Yeah, he's gone. He's dead. But
which I really liked him, too. I was so sad that he died.
Yeah, it was sad. And, but the thing is, you look on IMDb, because as soon as it happened, we looked on IMDb to see how many episodes he was actually in, and it lists like 21. But that could so you could take it as they're going to bring him back, or you could just take it as they cleverly tried to trick
It's listed as 19 episodes. According to IMDb, it says that he'll come back the last 2 episodes, but like the next 2 episodes he's not supposed to be in. So we'll just see if it's a ruse or is he actually going to come back.
Because sometimes they do just credit people and they're not even in the episode, but I don't know if it was like that. We'll see, I guess. So there's a little maybe spoiler. I don't know.
Now, Miss Lana Padilla, I think it's funny her name is Lana, but she, who plays the evil queen, Miss Regina on Once Upon a Time, she's just ridiculous. Too. It's like whenever she smiles, it's like she's cussing you out as she's smiling at you because she hates you so much.
She is a phenomenal actress.
She's really good.
Yeah, they picked the perfect person.
This whole cast has been perfect.
Did you love? I mean, that awkward moment where Mary Margaret ran into David and like they started this like awkward conversation. And, it was just it's so funny because they're supposed to be together. They're actually married, and they're supposed to be with each other right now. But like the girl in me is like, don't be talking to him. But it's like, no, she's supposed to be talking to him. But it's just like this weird situation. It's like you want them together, but it's just like, man, what he did was douchey. But it's not his fault. Yeah. But it's just this crazy.
Okay, now
thing.
I want to.
You know what? I'm curious.
Are we doing spoilers?
We're talking about the episode.
The thing that I love about this show is the writing. It's like you have no idea, like Rumpelstiltskin. You have no idea, how involved he is. And then when you see how he just like planned and laid everything out, it's like this man
he's a genius.
He's a genius.
He's a genius. He went through that whole thing just so she could be in the right position so that she could eventually give him a favor that we don't even know what it's going to be. It's just insane of how crazy clever this guy is.
I'm curious to know what will set people free to make them remember. Because in Lost when they had the final season, it was like the Sideways universe, is like, what's going to make them remember their life before, which you didn't know was their life before or whatever at the time. kind of you could figure out as episode went on. It's like what's gonna make them remember, and you kind of as you see like what's gonna make Kate or whatever, so on. And so, and Jack didn't remember till like the very end, and so the sheriff remember who he was when he kissed Emma, even though he didn't have any real relationship with her. I just figure it's because she's the chosen one, or because he has feelings for her and he has troubled feelings. And maybe he made a connection with the heart that he had lost, or something deep like that. I don't know.
I think that maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's something to do like a deeper connection, because he the whole thing was about his heart. So she made him, feel something. Like she gave him something to him that he had in the fairy tale land. So maybe that's something what it is, because we know it's not just by touch, because she's touched she's touched everybody. And so I think
she can't go out making out with everybody in the town.
No, it's just weird. Like kissing your dad. But I think that maybe that's what it is, because it did seem like when Mary was with David or John Doe at the time, when when he first escaped the hospital, when she was with him, she was like, "Please come back to me." It almost seemed like that wasn't Mary Margaret, and that was actually Snow White talking to Prince Charming.
Right.
And so
they just need to have some kind of breakthrough. So it's like, what's going to happen with their relationship to make them have to have a breakthrough? Because you want them. Because it's so complicated. Because he's married to that other woman, and you're like,
but he's not really married to her.
So in order for them to not be married, you have to break the curse. But how do we know that they're really married? Because he got his memory back. I thought it was.
Technically, he's not, because they're all planted memories.
They're all planted memories.
And I want to see the marriage certificate.
He remembers getting married to her. They're all planted memories, but they're planted memories within the world that Regina already created.
Yeah,
but he was out of it when he first went in, though.
And he remembers now.
It's all a curse, though. I mean, none of it is real. It's like being on a holodeck. Nothing's real.
It's like saying Jiminy Cricket's not a psychiatrist because it's a planted memory. I know it's a planted memory.
He has a degree. There's your piece of paper.
Like, it was really shady to me at first because she kept showing him pictures. Like, here's a picture of our dog. I'm like, why don't you show him a picture of your wedding? And so, I don't know if they did it like that to create a bunch of suspicion. But since he does clearly remember being with her, talking about the house and the stupid little windmill story and so on, I can accept that they are married in this fake pretend world.
But they're not.
Why wouldn't Regina have him with that woman to screw over Mary Margaret's life? Why wouldn't she? She created this land.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to make sure that he'd be, taken, and that she'd be lonely.
It wasn't just enough to put him in a coma.
And left only the douches to be single.
She's like, I've tried this before. It doesn't always work. There had to be a plan after coma. I learned from my mistakes.
Right. So true. So true.
Now, what I'm wondering is what happened to Rumpelstiltskin's
son.
Look,
Yes.
yeah.
I was kind of just, oh my goodness, when he was like, "You're going to be safe. You're going to be safe," and all, and he's just looking like, "Daddy?"
Right.
And it's just kinda,
that kid was good too.
The casting director needs a raise for this movie. Like, it's crazy. I mean, for this TV show, it's crazy. And he was just crazy.
I thought it was interesting that because he was such apparently a coward, or they kept calling him a coward. And it's like, oh, he is a coward, and he kept saying the stuff about the ogre war, and it was just futile, and they just want people to die, basically. And but then he went into the castle and stole a dagger and did all that stuff. I mean, he was brave enough to do that. I mean, he did kiss the guy's boot, which was, pretty like, dude, don't kiss his boot. But
I think what it all came down, what the whole thing was about being desperate.
yeah.
Right.
And so I think what it all came down to was just kind of like, I have to do this thing so I can get.
But I'm like, did he really run away from battle because he was afraid, or did he? Well, I mean, maybe he was afraid.
I just think
maybe
he was looking
did
out.
morally just like, well, this doesn't make sense.
Well, I think
to die for this.
Well,
or have a wife
the
at
thing
home,
about Rumpelstiltskin, that we've known so far is that he's a very selfish person, and that's just probably what he was thinking in that selfish moment. But
Right.
the only thing to counteract the whole selfish thing is the fact that, you know, he had this son that he actually cared about, or did he just see his son as a possession? I mean, it's just kind of like, and then, you know, the dark one was kind of like, well, how do you know that that's not your son? That's, you know, and he's he could be a bastard. And I was just like, he's not gonna kill this boy, because I was scared when he had the blade. And, like, he's like, you're going to be safe now. I'm just like, is he going to freak out and kill his son?
Right.
I'm like, and then,
Okay, wait. I want to know where his Rumpelstiltskin knife is.
yeah.
Because it's got to be somewhere.
The Rumpelstiltskin knife. Maybe it's...
Emma's going to have to find it.
Yeah.
But who's going to want to kill him, because then they become the Dark Lord themselves?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to kill him. You just have to get the dagger.
Possess it.
Oh, that is true.
But I wonder, because I just wonder how they're going to tie it in. Like, what happened to his son? How they're going to tie it in. And maybe, like, everything that he is doing is trying to get his son back. Because, why? Because he's orchestrated everything.
Yeah.
Whoever was the prince and the princess, whoever was together, he orchestrated. Whoever was in power in the fairy tale world was in power because he placed them there.
Right.
And then even with the queen and like her killing her father and a curse and everything, he even still gave himself loopholes to where he would still be in control in our world.
Right.
So it's just like, so why is he and then, you know, why bring Emma back to break the curse? So it's like, is everything orchestrated to where so he can maybe like possibly like get his son back, or maybe something happened with his son later on?
Well, I don't remember
like why, like everything he's orchestrating everything for a reason.
He is, and I'm dying to know what that reason is. But, you know, I don't remember who said it, but somebody brought up, I don't know if it was one of us or somebody else in our family, have brought up that maybe that's one of the reasons why he keeps going after children, like trying to make deals and getting children. That was his main story, in Grimm and all the fairy tales anyways, was him, you know, stealing, you know, trying to get a baby. And so maybe, I mean, that also has something to do with his son, or he doesn't have his son, so... It's just, I think it all goes back to that little boy. And I am curious to know what the heck happened to his kid. Because he wasn't around in all the other scenes. And we haven't seen him in Storybrooke. So, I am so curious. And I also want to know who is going to be the next person to wake up or realize. Or, because somebody else has to realize it in order for Emma to believe it.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that by the end of the season, somebody else, you know, is in Henry's corner. Because other than the sheriff, that nobody else was really in his corner as far as knowing what was going on. And, you know, the sheriff didn't even last. He had a millisecond of knowing, you know. I wish he would have got out Henry was totally right before he died.
I know.
Of course, they had to rip it away. Mm-hmm. Literally.
So here's another question: who else's heart
does she have?
She
does have a lot of hearts. She does have a lot of hearts. Mm-hmm. So I'm very curious. And plus, she wanted Snow White's in the first place.
Yeah. So,
and then another question is, how much power do these people really have in Storybrooke? Because I wouldn't have thought that would have worked in Storybrooke anyways, of her crushing his heart.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, how much magic still applies in this? Like, does Rumpelstiltskin still have some things? Yeah. I think the man could still see the future.
Right.
Because, of course, he put loopholes in the curse that he created himself.
Right.
And so, I think maybe Regina can do a little bit more than what we can do, what we know.
Because that was my thing. Because that was the first real, when she killed the sheriff, that was the first real power, you know, that she showed.
Yeah.
And she was still able, Because, like, I honestly didn't think that she had magic powers. Because why on God's great earth would she just allow Emma to do whatever she wants to do, basically?
Well, another thing is that if she did keep using her powers, then that probably would automatically wake up people. And that is the one thing she doesn't want to happen, is for people to...
Well, maybe it's not as much as you're going into. I mean, if she just carried her hearts over... I mean, there are remnants of it still. I mean, it is a curse. It does exist. I mean, underneath the minds or whatever were pieces of the actual, story. I mean, the actual, world that they're from. So there are remnants and things that exist. Her little cage of hearts, exists. It was there. Her little lair. So,
Yeah.
if you crush somebody's heart, you're dead,
I thought it was funny, Jiminy Cricket, when he was on the podium and nobody said anything after he made his joke, and he was like, "Wow, crickets."
Yeah, that's funny.
I thought that was cute. But yeah, the whole story, the whole episode was just great, and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen next. I would say the previews for the next episode look so creepy. That looks like some Joss Whedon, Buffy, Angel.
It kind of
stuff.
reminded me of Pan's Labyrinth when they're
Yeah.
like, "Don't eat anything."
And she's
in the
just
room.
like, she was in the commercial, she's like, "Why are you in my forest?" "Okay, because you trespass in my forest, I'm going to give you to a woman that eats children." It's like,
like,
that's so
dang, couldn't she
mean.
just use some slaves or something? Like,
It's
they
so
gotta be
mean.
eaten. Can't be children slaves.
And I love how in each episode you're
I guess
seeing.
they're not old enough. Or at least the boy, anyway.
I love how in
Slave
each
he wants.
episode you're seeing these different layers of people. Like, you think you know these characters, but you don't really know them. You think the queen is evil, but you didn't realize how evil this woman was.
Right.
And so it just keeps growing, and I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen. And I'm even excited for next season, if they have a next season, because I'm curious of how's the story going to evolve.
Yeah.
We haven't even got to the finale yet, but I'm just so curious. I just wish I could just get inside the writers' minds and see what they have planned.
Well, I don't know how much I want. I really like the show, but I don't want to see it go on forever because I want to see how they defeat the queen.
Well, that's what people have said about Lost.
No, Lost, but they had a mystery on top of a mystery. What did they say? They wanted to see him get rescued. Okay, they had a story after they got rescued, and we have to go back.
I'm just saying.
And then half of them got rescued.
But you know
half
what?
of them were on the
I
island.
think
The
it
thing
could
about
go on.
stories is that, because, like, you still got a witch that's not being used. Maleficent.
Yep, they haven't shown Maleficent. They haven't shown. I mean, there's still a lot of
In
stories
the
they haven't dealt
story-
with.
I know there's a lot of stories they haven't dealt with. I'm saying the purpose of the town is that Regina created a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see
She did
Regina
create the
get
curse.
her. Well, she didn't create it. She enacted it. I want to see her get her butt whooped. That's what I want to see. Because
That could happen. I'm just saying. I think that they have a lot of stuff to pull out the hat. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, especially because my
I
mom's.
just- I wanna
mom-
know
my
why-
mom's
sorry,
like,
I
They-
want to know why he designed the curse.
You ain't
That's
gonna
what I
find out to
want.
the end of the show.
It's like, why?
to
Why?
the end of the show.
Like, there's a reason why he designed a curse that would bring everybody to our world.
end of the show. You're not gonna find that out probably to that point. Because even if he did reveal something this season, I'm pretty sure they'll bring something back next. Look, after that man bent, he said, "Kiss my foot," and he bent over, and he broke that man's neck. I was like, I cannot predict what this man is going to do. So I mean, he was like, snap.
And then we also saw, in him, we saw, like, a really soft side.
Yeah,
really
even how
tender.
he was talking to him about being
But
with his
his-
son.
yeah.
Right.
And it's just kind of
Like-
like, well, dang.
Yeah, like where is this coming from? And then they showed the flashback, when he was with his son, and then you saw it.
Yeah, so even though, he's uber evil, he still has this, softness towards his son. So, his lingering emotion. So, we just don't know. So, yeah, I can't wait till next week.
Yep. But anyways, tell us what you think. And if you don't watch the show, you need to catch up. Go
It's a really good show.
go on the internet. Go on
It's
Hulu.
kind of weird
Go
to
on
watch.
go on the website. It's ABC, right? ABC.com. Yeah. And just look it up. I believe that they are there. And just watch what you can, because this show really deserves a big audience. It really is a great show. Anyways, I'm Katrina.
I'm Gina.
I'm Christina,
And we're the Gorgeous Geeks.
Hi, I'm Katrina from The Gorgeous Geeks, and I'm here to tell you that we have some swag for you to buy. Like good, great stuff like this coffee mug.
And what does this say, Katrina?
This is yesterday's science fiction is today's science facts. Ooh. Tastes like geeky. You can go out and buy cool t-shirts like this nice cool white tank top that says Gorgeous Geek on it. You know you want it. And you can dress it up like this. Or this. Or this. Or even like this. I'm getting chilly. Geekiness. Or this. No, you can't see it, but it's still there. So go to thegorgeousgeeks.com and buy some swag. Go to thegorgeousgeeks.com to get other t-shirts, keychains, and other cool geeky swag that will keep you looking fly and still representing your geeky pride.